Okay, what you said just right there in and of itself is kind of racist. FT signifier would call you racist. So I had some questions for you today. The first thing I wanted to ask you was about something you said a while back about Andrew Tate. You said this a couple times. I don't really know if I agree with it.
Okay, what'd I say?
Andrew Tate is obviously a horrible misogynist person, but you've said a couple times that it's like that it's scary that social media corporations are able to censor him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see the problem with that. Like, he was a pretty extreme person influencing people in pretty bad ways, right?
Yeah, but he didn't break any rules, did he?
Yeah, but like, he was a pretty extreme instance where he was like influencing people in pretty negative ways, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't break any rules, did he?
Okay. So what if it's just this one person, though? Like,
well, if it's not just one person. If it's just one person, it could be anybody, right? Isn't that kind of the principle of the thing? Shouldn't we care about that?
I mean, why does the principle matter if they're not doing it more than once, though? Like, it's the only time they've ever done it in the history of the internet.
That's not true. They've wiped a couple people from social media platforms, like, simultaneously. It happened to Donald Trump as well.
For Donald Trump, it just happened on Twitter, right? Twitter was the only place it happened.
Am I wrong? I thought he got banned from everything. Like Facebook. I know he got banned from Twitch.
Okay, so you're listing like Donald Trump and Andrew Tate, two people who were borderline stochastic terrorists.
Sure, that's like, a 100% increase from just one, though. I mean, I'm sure if we keep going, we could probably find more.
But like, what do you think these corporations have to like? What do they need to like give permission to people in order? Do they need permission from the people in order to ban people who are extremely problematic? Like, I don't understand.
No, I just think for deleting somebody from the internet, it should be for breaking actual rules and not just being problematic.
Well, like, they maybe have internal rules that these people were breaking that we don't know about.
Okay, that's not a very satisfying answer, but
okay. I guess I'll concede that to you then. I guess it's scary that they're able to go behind the curtain and like coordinate a mass ban of a single person. I guess I'll concede that.
Okay.
I think so. My next question is: it was actually in a previous conversation I had with you earlier. You said one of the reasons it was totally okay for the Democratic establishment to go behind the curtain and coordinate a mass endorsement of a single candidate all at once, specifically to guarantee that Bernie would lose in 2020.
Well, to be clear,
you said
it wasn't
one of the reasons
specifically to guarantee Bernie would lose. It was because those people had no chance of winning, and it wasn't a coordination of the establishment. It was probably individuals deciding it was better for them to do this particular thing so they had some political future. But go ahead.
Okay, so that's how you frame it, but that was totally fine to you. One of the reasons you said it was totally fine to you because Bernie was projected to lose anyway, right? Is that right? Because like they thought he had no chance of winning, so it's fine. You just said that.
I feel like I didn't say that. I'm not sure if I said that that's a justification. It doesn't sound like a justification for anything at all.
You said that like, you just said that like these people have no chance of winning, so they went and like agreed to endorse the other candidate instead of their choosing.
The individuals like had no chance of winning, so they decided to just back a similar candidate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me propose a hypothetical to you then.
Okay.
Let's say in 2024, the primary is being hosted again. Mm-hmm. And this time, Bernie is even more popular than he was last time. Let's say with all the moderate candidates running against each other, Bernie is actually projected to win this time. But then, just like last time, the corrupt DNC pulls their little stunt and starts doing, handshake deals behind the curtain to coordinate a mass endorsement of a single moderate candidate of their choosing, not the people's choosing. And then because of that, Bernie loses again. Like, are you still going to tell me with a straight face that there's nothing shady or unethical about that?
I don't even know what the sentence that you just said meant, but okay.
Okay. let's say they run again in 20. Let's say Bernie runs again in 2024, and this time, if the moderate candidates don't rally together and like sacrifice their running positions,
if Bernie can run and he's got like a majority of the vote, then Bernie will run and win. That's it. Doesn't matter.
No, not majority of the vote. Let's say that if moderate candidates don't all have to rely on mass all quitting all at once and mass endorsing a single candidate of their choosing, as long as they don't do that stunt again, Bernie will win the nomination. Will you still say that that's totally fine?
No, I don't. I would rather the will of the people be expressed as best as possible. And if 60% of people are supporting moderate candidates and 40% of people are supporting one far left candidate, then the will of the people is probably not behind Bernie Sanders. It never was in the Democratic Party.
Even so, let's say if it was 60-40, who are these moderate candidates to basically choose on their own whim who gets to be the moderate candidate that they all rally behind? That doesn't seem like representing the will of the people.
They probably go based on popular support. If they choose somebody that's not popular, then it would probably go to the other guy.
No, who they perceive based on polling data, who they think will be the most popular moderate candidate. Again, this is still not fully representative of the will of the people. They're just literally choosing who they think will win.
At the end of the day, the people get to break. Or I'm sorry, the people get to vote, right?
Yeah.
Then it's the will of the people voting. I don't understand what your question is. You're
they are influencing.
Can you just go?
People.
Can I just send you? There's a video that you need to go watch. Okay, here. Like this is you. Okay. Have you seen the Bernie Math video by College Humor?
No.
Okay, I posted in DGG chat and in Kick chat and in YouTube chat. I don't know where you hang out. Just go watch that video. This is who you are. Like you're the living embodiment of this.
I haven't watched the video, so I don't know what you think I am, but
it's the talking about the convoluted scheme in which Bernie Sanders is the rightful winner of the Democratic election, even though he couldn't even get above 30% of the support of the party. Like you just have all these like convoluted schemes in your head for like how he should have gotten, what the will of people is, blah 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 blah. There's a collective set of ideas. We can broadly group these as moderate or progressive. The Democratic Party did not support progressive ideas; they supported moderate ideas. You're just ass pained that a ton of moderate candidates decided to drop off as they had no chance of winning, and then people rallied behind one moderate candidate. There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing unethical about that. There's nothing betraying. There's nothing rigged about that. That's just what people do in primaries. Like if the only way that your candidate can win is by having 6 other similar candidates stay in so that your candidate get a plurality of the vote, that's not democracy. That's not good. I don't know why you would even support that.
Okay, I never said it was a conspiracy. I said that the election process is flawed if moderate candidates get to choose who everyone has to rally behind.
No. That's not flawed. What would be flawed is if 9 candidates all like shared the same voter pool and then one candidate had its own unique voter pool and then he won. That would be flawed. This is why people support like ranked choice voting, to prevent exactly this thing from happening.
Okay, but even then, like that's another thing that like maybe I could to an extent agree with, but like that's like a flaw with our election process. Then, like the fact that you don't want to change our election process or our electoral system at all, like obviously there are flaws with the system that don't properly represent the will of the people. But like you don't want to change anything about the system.
Who said I don't want to change anything about the system?
Because like you're obviously happy with the outcome of the 2020 election, so like you don't want like any adjustments made to it whatsoever because you're happy that Bernie lost.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, good. I'm glad you conceded on that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my next question was about Brittany Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a limit, by the way, to how like harsh I can be on these calls, or no?
Do your worst, bucko.
Okay. So what exactly happened with Brittany Simon? Like, why don't you talk to her anymore?
I think she got triggered over a tag I gave, and then we just had big disagreements over that, and then, yeah, it's basically that.
Okay. Would you mind if I played devil's advocate for Brittany here?
I don't think I want to dig up old Brittany drama. It feels like... Why would I do that?
Because, like, I think that, like, you burned her bridge over much less than someone like Sneeko, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think that's a little bit... Yeah. So, like, don't you think that you gave her kind of an unfair shake?
Well, no, I considered her an actual friend. I don't think I ever considered Sneeko a friend.
Wait, but if you considered her an actual friend, then how come you like threw away that bridge so easily?
Because my standards for friendships are higher than my standards for acquaintances.
Hold on. I feel like you've definitely made it seem like in the past that you were totally really close with Sneeko. And then now that like you're burned bridge with him, you're rewriting history.
You guys see me hang out with a person in real life 1 or 2 times and you assume that we're close friends. But that's you guys being autistic, not me.
Okay. Basically, one of the things... What exactly did she do that like made your high standards of her as a friend like totally shatter? Like what exactly did she say?
I don't that was like, bro, I mean, like, I feel like our shit has calmed down. I don't know if I want to relitigate the whole Britney thing. I feel like, why would I? Because she's gonna get comments on her videos, I'm gonna get more people asking like, why? I don't know if there's a purpose to relitigating this whole thing.
No, because like I think it's worth like potentially rebuilding this bridge. I don't think she was that bad of a person.
So I don't think she is that bad of a person. I never said she's that bad of a person.
Yeah, I would say that if anything, you were kind of the one who was out of pocket in that bridge burning scenario.
Yeah,
like you said,
not surprising at all that you would feel that way. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean it's not surprising at all? You basically were like, "Oh yeah, I wonder if rape victims can just walk it off next time they get raped at a party." Like you were like basically saying something
verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like pretty out of pocket.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so why are you surprised that she got upset at you over that?
You know, I'm an out-of-pocket kind of guy in a world with not enough pockets.
Okay. So you admit that you were the one in the wrong then in that situation, and
Absolutely.
that you actually don't care that you were a shithead to her instead of the other way around, and that you burned bridges because you were an asshole.
Nope.
She said things like you were bad at relationships, which is true.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah. You're pretty bad at relationships. You're pretty dysfunctional.
How do you... By what? Aren't you 21? Do you even know what a relationship looks like?
Yeah, of course I do. And also, I'm not 21.
You're like 20. You're 23 at the most, at the absolute oldest.
Okay, you're just psychoanalyzing me now, like Mr. Girl.
No, I know I'm correct.
Okay, whatever you say. But like, you absolutely are pretty dysfunctional.
If I offer to send you $50 if you send me your driver's license and you're over the age of 23, would you do that?
If you make me an orbiter, I'll tell you. But no.
Okay.
What I was gonna say was, you absolutely are dysfunctional. You've done insane shit throughout your career that like most people would agree is like pretty insanely dysfunctional for your relationships.
Insane.
She wasn't wrong to say that.
I've really done insane shit.
Yeah. Like, didn't you, oh, well, I don't know if I should say that, but you've done some insane shit. Like, I guess, what about that time you fucked your own Discord moderator or whatever? Or not Discord moderator, you fucked, the Twitch Twitch moderator or whatever. This was like a few years ago. I think you did that, right?
Which?
And then like she had a meltdown on stream about it, and you were like trying to like tame everything down. Like clearly, like that was an insane thing. Whatever happened.
What am I talking? What are we talking about here?
It was okay. We were on. This was like a few years ago. It was like, I think her name was Eris. I don't remember.
Do you think she was just a Discord moderator?
Not a Discord moderator, a Twitch moderator, and you fucked her, and then, you know, you maybe let her on or something. Something dysfunctional.
You understand that that was like a girlfriend of mine for 6 years, right?
Okay, well, why were you still dating her and fucking her, and then why did she have a meltdown?
Don't you think before you come at me with these like heavy-handed accusations of impropriety, you should at least like have any idea who you're talking about?
Okay. Well, what about okay. What about that OCD girl, right?
Yeah, sometimes
you were
going to the cookie jar. It's not good.
No, you can't just play it off as a meme. That seriously was pretty insane. You fucked her. She had a mental breakdown. Clearly, she wasn't mentally capable of handling it. And then you just did it again afterwards. Like, that's completely insane. That's actually psychotic.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say that I'm a perfect person, but if
hold on, it's more than being not a perfect person.
Sure, I agree, yeah. But if like the most insane shit I've done in my life is I fucked somebody that I probably shouldn't have fucked, does that really make me that insane? Does that really make me that crazy? I feel like there's a whole basket of things people can do in life that is like really deplorable and really insane. Is that really where we're at now, where it's like, oh my god, this person is like if you were telling friends, right, there's this guy, and oh my god, this dude is he's one of the most unhinged motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And it's like, really? It's like, yeah, this dude is on another level of psychopathy. Okay, he's just fucking wild. It's like, oh my god, what did he do? And you're like, well, one time there was this girl with OCD, and he fucked her after they had kind of already like split. And it was like, yeah, he definitely shouldn't have. Is that really like...
Okay. How about this? What about that time that you fantasized about murdering that 16-year-old and his dad?
The guy that was depriving me of income so that I couldn't take care of my fucking family? That guy? Okay.
For starters, I'm positive you had not tried anywhere near enough before resorting to murder.
I mean, right? I fully doxed the kid. I called multiple members of his entire family. I got into an email back and forth with his father, and I had 3 different interviews with the FBI. What else was I supposed to do?
You said that you could have pursued a legal route to sue those guys, and you said you didn't because it would have been too hard or something like that.
I talked to somebody about pursuing a potential legal route. He told me that I was looking at, and I was not as wealthy back then as I was now. He said I was looking at a minimum of $50,000, a court case that would drag out for over a year, and that I had absolutely no guarantee to win because of the sophisticated level of technology involved. That trying to explain to a jury what a DDoS was or whatever would be an unbelievably high threshold to overcome in like a civil case like that.
All I'm saying is, even if you can throw whatever excuses you want out, like that is, nobody would just say like, oh, I gotta solve my problem by murdering a fucking kid. Like there was probably more options there had to have been more options you could have exhausted. The fact that you were just like, well, I tried nothing and it still didn't work, so it's time to murder a child. It's like, dude, that's fucking insane. Again,
if I had tried
total
nothing,
disregard for human.
That would be pretty crazy. I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't literally try nothing, but you tried very little. Like you tried.
Really? Tell me what else I should have tried.
You should have tried going through with a legal route. You could have.
The legal route would have left me broke. I would have been out of a job by then. I would have been bankrupt. It would have been over for me. Legal route was pointless. Impossible.
You could have tried holding out. Maybe you could have tried talking to the kid a little bit more.
The kid was harassing me for months and months. Every time I tried talking to him, he just made fun of me more. What would be the point of that?
Try talking to his parents.
I tried talking to his dad.
Just because he was getting
sue me. His dad made fun of me and told me that his son was more intelligent than I ever would be, and that I should try making friends with him instead.
Well, yeah, maybe you should try. I mean, listen, life is never totally fair. I agree with that. Like, sometimes you're put in a shitty situation that you don't deserve.
True, and sometimes people murder you because you fuck with their income. That's life. I agree. It's not fair all the time.
No, wait, no. That's so childish, though. Like, revenge or, like, just petty murder
it's not revenge, and it's not petty. It would have been self-defense of my income.
Oh, God, this is Kyle Rittenhouse all over again. This is the utter disregard for human life.
So, I mean, okay, I agree. Thank you. If you think I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, that's fine. He beat his case, so amen, brother.
He was legally exonerated, but morally murdering 2 people for the most dumb reason ever was stupid. Just like how you murdering those 2 people would have been really stupid, although maybe legally justified or whatever.
Oh, base. Well, as long as I'm legally justified, I'm Gucci gang.
So you admit that you're an insane, shitty person then. Good.
Yeah, if that's how you want to read it, sure thing, bucko.
What about... All right. So I've listed like 3 different things that you did that were super insane. How about, and I'll keep throwing more at you. What about how you, some of the things you've done, like the amount of like out of pocket things you've said about black people, right?
Is it really that insane to be racist? Like, would you say every racist person is insane?
I would say that it doesn't help your case, right? Like the fact that you, were publicly, like the only person on the internet who was publicly making the opinion that, like, white people should be allowed to say the N-word in private. Like, why did you need to say?
I'm the only person who's ever made that case before.
The only like notable Twitch streamer who did, yeah. Like, did you need to make that statement? Regardless of even if it's even true that like, oh yeah, we should be allowed to say it in private, which is like, even if it's true, why did you feel the need to say it?
I don't know, man. Maybe I am just unhinged.
Okay. So, all right. How about you eating chicken and waffles with a Nazi? How is that not insane?
That was pretty crazy. One of the craziest days of my life, I think.
You're such
Did
a
you see the part
clown.
where he called that one guy that was walking by? He was like, "Is that a Jew?" Do you remember that part? Wasn't that wild?
Yeah, and then you got an erection when he did because you love crazy people.
No, the erection came later when I watched him and Abba double team my wife while I sat in the cuck chair in the corner. Me and Sneeko both sat and watched.
Based. No, but you absolutely. Okay. Let me switch. Let me switch gears a little bit.
Go ahead.
You had a debate with Nick Fuentes recently on Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, I did. True.
And in your infinite wisdom, you thought to engage with this and platform this guy again.
Yeah.
And regardless, you choosing to debate him and challenge his ideas publicly means that you're kind of publicly show his fair against the status quo of, you know, not being a Nazi.
I'm kind of publicly what?
Okay, you know what? How do you think you did in that debate against him?
I think it went okay, but against a guy like that, I usually want to do better than just okay. But
yeah, you did pretty horrible.
I don't think I did pretty horrible, but I think I did okay.
Definitely did do pretty horrible. I mean, afterwards you were like, afterwards on multiple occasions you were like, "Oh, Nick, please debate me again. Let me have a rematch so I can redeem myself." Like, yeah, of course he was going to say no and not debate you again after you outlived your usefulness because you were just a useful idiot to him.
Yeah, is that what your parents say about you for the child tax credit?
Okay, so you admit that you didn't do well in the debate. You did poorly.
I think I did okay. Could have done better, but.
Well, then why were you begging Nick Fuentes to debate you again and kissing his feet?
How am I kissing his feet by asking for another debate?
You were like tweeting like, "Oh, he's just scared. Please debate me again, Nick. No, his audience is like forcing me not to go on. They don't want me to get a rematch because I got crushed last time." And even your subreddit was saying the same thing too.
Oh, well, if my subreddit was saying it, fuck me. You got me there.
Okay. So, just by the way, that when you fail in these debates, you know, that this shows that like this whole absolutist freedom of speech, like, oh yeah, the good ideas will always rise to the top no matter what automatically. Just want to let you know that like with this debate, you getting kind of crushed a little bit shows that that's not always the case.
Wow, true. We should just end all discourse in the United States. I agree. That's the most.
Not end all discourse. Wait, hold on.
Well, we don't want to risk ever like losing a debate, right? We should probably just end everything, yeah? Wouldn't that be like the safest route? Do you want to risk losing a debate against a Nazi?
We can just ignore debate. We can just ignore debates with Nazis altogether. We're the majority, right? The majority of the population is against Nazis. They have everything to gain by debating us, and we have nothing to gain and everything to lose by debating them. So your stupid ideology of just being like, oh yeah, let's just debate them for no reason and give them a chance to gain credence with their ideology, like they did with you just now with Nick, right?
Yeah. I never thought about it that way. True.
What are you? Is something okay? My prescription would be,
tell me,
1, to avoid engaging with Nazis.
Okay.
They have nothing to gain and everything to lose by us engaging with them.
Nothing to lose and everything to gain, but yeah, go ahead.
Or nothing to lose and everything to gain, yeah. And mild limitations on free speech, kind of like what they have in a lot of European countries.
Let me just say this. What's that? Americans are Nazis, people.
What?
He just hit you up with the Americans are Nazis. You probably agree with him, actually.
Yeah, I would say like 20 to 30% of the population is like Nazis, but like they're a minority. They can't do anything.
20 to 30%?
Or okay, hold on. 20 to 30% are like conservatives that are kind of radical, and some of those conservatives in and of themselves are Nazis. There.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank God. So only like 15% of Americans are Nazis in your worldview.
Wait. Okay. Do you think that like we make large leaps by just like sitting down and talking with every single person who is like segregation during like the civil rights movement? Do you think Martin Luther King was like, you know what, let's sit down next to all these, pro Jim, have a conversation with them. Let's like gradually convert each and every single one of them through conversation for the next 3 decades, just slowly de-radicalize them, and then that's how we make big progress. Like, do you think that's how we do it, by just making sure everyone gets together and we're all friends and dandy, and how we're all just what we need to do?
Yeah, I think so, actually, yeah.
That's what Martin Luther King did to stop civil rights, huh? Or to help civil rights, right?
Seems like it about that.
No, what he did was he gathered support from the majority that already agreed with him, and then he just mobilized to legislate things, and the minority that didn't follow along with him basically just had to suck it and follow along with it anyway.
If the majority was already pro-civil rights, then why did Jim Crow laws exist?
Well, he had to rally them first, but like, yeah, once the majority's been rallied to have an opinion against it,
they just needed to
like,
get rallied. They were already. The majority was already there. They just needed to be rallied.
I mean, kinda. Yeah, that's what happened. That's how.
Oh, wow. Okay, never thought about it that way.
Okay. All right. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
Destiny. Okay. A subredditor in your community made a post recently that made a good point about how you don't like racists like Bruce or FD Signifier, but you're perfectly okay with hanging out with crazy people like Quiznos, crazy racist people like Quiznos or Zerka.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say to that subreddit post in response?
I have different expectations on people based on what their kind of like their jobs are. So like Zerka's just like a fucking loser goofball. Like, I'm not expecting serious political commentary from him. He doesn't sell himself as such, although he still has an influence. But people like FD Signifier like sell themselves as YouTube academics, so I have a much higher expectation for the type of content that they make. Huh.
And why don't they clear that bar for you, in your opinion?
I just don't like people that spread around this idea that like everybody's racist, everybody's a Nazi. Like, even you just unwittingly made the claim that like 10 to 20 million Americans are Nazis. It's kind of a fucking insane claim to make, but you just think in your mind.
Okay,
like
I never said that many people, but I am saying that a lot of conservatives are extreme.
That's about what you said. About half the Conservative Party is You said 10 to 20% of the Conservative Party is racist, or Nazi, I think you said. About half the country is conservative, right? So if I say, we'll say 100 million people.
Okay, I was being a little hyperbolic, okay? Be a little bit more charitable. So you just don't like that they call certain people like you racist. You don't like it when FD Signifier calls people like you racist, basically. Is that it?
Not just me, but sure, I can be one of them, yeah.
Okay. So you think that, like, it's just you hate the idea that they can come to the conclusion that you're racist. You think that's inconceivable that you're racist?
Sure.
Okay. So, to be clear, you do have a noticeable pattern of takes and behaviors against black people, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
You once went on Twitter and started shitting on a CNN article that said a group of black people killing a black man might have still been racism. You like eagerly tried shooting down that take, even though they explicitly said that it might have been systemic racism, not.
I read the entire article that was posted by the man that did it. We can go back to the stream and revisit it, but I just think it's a bit laughable when we got into an area where every single thing in society can be caused by white supremacy. Then it's probably not even worth talking about. If 4 black cops killing 1 black man is also white supremacy, it just seems like there's probably other factors at play, and to call all of it white supremacy is a tad reductive in our social analysis, I think.
He said that, first of all, that it might have still been racism, not that it definitively was. I think that's reasonable to interpret that this could have been still systemic racism, like black cops being so unbelievably violent, lynching another black guy.
And you know what the issue was with his take?
What?
There was absolutely zero evidence in his article that there was any racism involved. I'm pretty sure that was my problem with the article.
Yeah, even if there wasn't any hard evidence, like to posit that it could...
There wasn't any hard or soft evidence. There was no evidence whatsoever. There was zero evidence. None. Zero.
Even if you want to say that they didn't have evidence to posit that there is a chance something couldn't be the case, which, yeah, that is true. There was a chance that it could have still been systemic racism even without evidence. Okay. But the fact that you so eagerly, like, shot it down, like, no, it definitely was systemic racism. Racism doesn't exist anymore. We defeated racism. It's like, that's a little bit strange for you to so eagerly want to shut down ideas that, like, black people can be dealing with racism.
Okay. True.
The fact that you didn't want it to have any charitability to take the article at face value when they open racism.
Well, to be clear, like, I'm pretty sure the guy that wrote the article was black, so why would I take it so seriously?
Okay, what you said just right there in and of itself is kind of racist.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, don't like white people generally write better articles on these types of topics?
Are you trolling me right now?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general. Like, if you go and look at CNN and you look at all the people that write on, like, cop violence stuff, isn't it usually white people?
Wait, you are literally... That's discriminatory, what you're saying right now.
Discrimination isn't always bad. If I only want to hire college students instead of high school students, that's also discriminatory.
No, but that's a different type of discrimination, right?
Well, why is that discrimination okay, but discriminating against who I trust for articles is not okay? Like, would I trust a white guy to tell me what the best rap music is of, like, the 80s and 90s?
That's asking for, like, an opinion on, like, how to enjoy on, like, certain types of music. That's harmless. But saying that, like, oh, you're black, so you're not allowed to have an opinion on other black people murdering other black people.
Hold on, he's
like,
absolutely allowed to have an opinion. You just put those words in my mouth. I just said I wouldn't take it as seriously.
Yeah, but that in and of itself is kind of racist. Why would you say, like, oh yeah, I don't take it as seriously unless you have white skin? Like,
I don't know. It just seems like most of the people that write articles on that on CNN tend to be white, so I just trust them more on it.
So if you're walking out on the street, a black guy walking down the street next to you, you're not going to trust that black guy to not rob you as much because black commit more crime. Is that way? That's the same type of logic you're applying there.
I'm going to be honest. I think that if anybody was to ever break the record of Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint, I think it would probably be you seeing a black guy on the sidewalk across from you and then you running to the other side of the street. You come off to me like you would move faster than lightning.
Okay. So you just kind of just obfuscated just now. You didn't really engage with what I just said.
I wouldn't cross the street. I'd walk up to him and I'd give him the handshake where you do the clap, pull back with the fingers, and then snap as you pull away. Because I've been in LA long enough to know how to shake hands with my fellow Crips. Because that's who I am, Crip Mac 55. Keep it 55 on God, cuz.
Alright, well, you once... Okay, so you're just gonna obfuscate. You also once said a black lady in it was to a black lady in a video you were watching recently. I think it was in the context of, like, that one bike lady, Karen, and that group of black kids. And you told that black lady, like, oh, go back to Africa, haha, just kidding, not really, but also kind of seriously. Like, again, I'm seeing a pattern here of racist behaviors and, like, racist, ironic, but also not ironic jokes against black people. Like, it seems pretty... And you're still going to say, like, what is your response to that, to telling the black lady to go back to Africa?
I don't know, maybe she would have been happier back there.
So are you still going to tell me that it's inconceivable that FD Signifier, even after everything I just listed, why FD Signifier would call you racist? You really think it's like, oh, it's inconceivable. How could anyone in their right mind find me racist?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're admitting that you're just a shithead, and that FD signifier is perfectly reasonable then.
What I'm saying is that if the year was 1730, I would have the biggest plantation of any of the other white men. It would be the most successful one. I would have the biggest, strongest workers, and everybody would respect and revere me.
Oh my goodness. Why did you donate $10,000 just to spite FD Signify?
Black people.
No, what was the actual reason why?
To arrest black people so they die in prison.
What was the actual reason why?
To provide money to the cops so they could buy more crack for black neighborhoods.
Why? What was the actual reason why you burned $10,000 of your own money against poor FD Signifier, who was literally open to building a bridge with you?
First of all, he was not open to building a bridge with me. Alright, give us your final thoughts, okay? I'm tired now.
I can tell you're tired from being racist. My final question, I guess, since you just conceded everything to me during this debate because you're tired, and also because I won, can I shout out my socials?
You can shout out one of them.
Twitch.tv/Trickman185 on weekdays for streams. There.
Good luck, buddy. Bye.
Alright. Bye.
See you next time, bucko.